Okay, so good morning. It's now 5 o'clock. So this is what I'm going to be doing for the month. For this month, I'm going to be making sure that I share everything that I learned when I studied and share it with you. So this is the Proverbs, okay, the book of Proverbs, and then also The Hard Way by Brad Lee. Okay, they're going to be doing two books, all right, because this is what I did. I did 20 minutes each morning for the last 30 days. Now, I'm going to start by saying this. This is not preaching. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not here to preach at anybody. I'm here to share my own personal opinion and what I think the Bible means and what these verses mean to me and what I learned from reading this book. So this is basically just a book review. And this is some lessons that I think you'll find value. So thank you for coming to my channel. Welcome. Let's get ready. All right, so we're going to start with the book of Proverbs. All right, so we're going to start with Proverbs 14 and 15. And I was reading it, and I had this girl that I was gonna hire to help me take care of me because I had surgery and I needed a girl to come over here to make sure that you're being taken care of, because when you get liposuction and you get any kind of like plastic surgery, and it's like either a liposuction or a tummy tuck, something like that, you need someone to take care of you. You need either a nurse, or you find somebody that it doesn't have a job and you just hire them. Okay, and I'd rather have a woman take care of me than a man. It's just my personal opinion. This has nothing to do with anything sexual. It's nothing like that, because let me tell you, I'm going to tell you right now, when you have surgery, like a liposuction surgery or a tummy tuck surgery, number one, you can't have sex. Number two, you're in pain, like real pain, and all you want to do is just get rid of that pain. So you need help going to the bathroom. You need help washing your ass. You need help getting food. So you need help. So you want to make sure you don't have anybody that's causing any kind of problems. And that's one of the things that I learned in Proverbs 14 and 15. Okay, Proverbs 14, verse 29. 14 verse 29 says, people with understanding control their anger. A hot temper shows great foolishness. That's one thing that this girl would do. She, in the past, I've interacted with her, and she would get angry all the time, and I'm like, I don't want to be around that. Okay, I don't need to be around that when I'm recovering from surgery. So also stay away from people that immediately show their temper. Sometimes you have to overlook an insult, then respond a little bit later down the road. Don't be so quick to fight. Don't be a hot-tempered person. It's not wise. Okay, Proverbs 14 verse 30. A peaceful heart leads to a healthy body. Jealousy is like cancer in the bones. Ooh. Jealousy is like cancer in the bones. Can you imagine that? I think that's why a lot of people get these diseases, because they envy people, they get jealous, they're so focused. Look, they're so focused on what other people have. There's always gonna be somebody that has a better looking girlfriend than you. They're driving a better car. They're in better shape than you are. You can't look at that. You can't be envious of that. You can't be jealous of that. All you can do is control your own world. You're not responsible for what other people's opinions are about you. All you can do is say, look, I can just be the best version of me and control what's in my universe, what's in my environment. That's all you can control. You can't control if that girl doesn't like you. You can't control if that person won't buy from you. You can't control none of that. All you can control is, look, I gave the best sales presentation, and we're going to go into sales in the second part of this lesson. And like I said, I'm going to be doing this for the next month. It's going to be, I've got over 80 pages here. We're going to go through it. And now you guys are going to learn something. You can't control none of that. You can only control what's within your control. So don't envy other people because it causes cancer in your bones. That's what it says here. It says jealousy is like cancer in the bones. Proverbs 14 verse 30. Okay, Proverbs 14 verse 31. It's 14 verse 31 says, those who oppress the poor insult their maker, but helping the poor honors him. You always have to help the poor when you can and where you can. Now, I've had people in the past, like I'm sitting here in Colombia, like they'll walk inside the restaurant and walk right to your table while you're eating, when you get your food, and ask you for money or food. And I'm not doing that, okay? Look, you gotta give when you can and where you can, where you feel led. I had in the past talked to me about a need, a financial need, a poor need. And I'm like, I'm not led to do that. That's your calling. That's not my calling. Go where you're led to go. As long as you're giving, and you're giving with a good heart, a generous heart, and you know you're sowing seed in good ground. That's the thing. You don't give to get. You give because you honor God when you do that. All right. And I've been doing that for years, and I think that's the reason, one of the reasons why I'm successful. Thank God by the grace. I get way more than I deserve in life. That's for damn sure. 14 verse 34. Godliness makes a nation great, but sin is a disgrace to any people. That is so true. There used to be a time where people were ashamed of doing shit that it's applauded now. It's shameful. And you look at some nations that are coming up in South America that they honor God. All right, so that's it with Proverbs. We're going to transition into the hard way. Here we go. These are some of the lessons I learned off reading Bradley's book, The Hard Way, which I think is a fantastic book. I feel like I wanted to start following this guy on social media and get this guy's, get some interaction, get a relationship with him. But I feel like if you want to find a mentor and they wrote a book, the first thing you should do is read their book and say, hey, I read their book. I like this about their book, and add value, because I'm sure they're having all these people coming at them and they want to learn from them, and they want to grow, and they want to do all this kind of stuff, but they never read the book. I mean, you think I'm going to, if I wrote a book and I had millions of people drawing for my attention, yet you were the guy that actually read my book, I'm probably going to give you some of my attention because you appreciated all the hard work I put into creating this book. So, because eventually I'm hoping to meet this guy Bradley and shake his hand and thank him for putting out such a great book. So here we go. The Hard Way. We talked about learning how to scale the business by aligning yourself with people that have similar values. You're never going to be a person who is successful on their own. It takes a great team to be successful. You have to surround yourself with people, number one, that are more successful than you. Number two, people that believe in your vision, that will buy into your vision. All right, so I'm just going to share. I'm not reading verbatim from his book. I'm reading what I have learned and what I got out of it through the first chapter. So we're going to be I did the whole book, and this is something that I think is going to add value to your life. All right, so I wrote from reading the first chapter in The Hard Way. It says this: if you're trying to get more and do more, demand everyone else to do the same. So if you want more from other people, you got to be doing that yourself. You got to be leading by example. And it's fucking hard, man. I'm telling you. This whole thing of getting up and waking up early and doing this every morning is tough. But I maintain course. I maintain the discipline. And part of that is because I teach this stuff. I'm a coach. I'm a life coach. So if people see me fucking up, what kind of example am I leading? I'm kind of expected to like be above the rest. I'm expected to do more because I'm leading it. So if you want to do that, you have to start with leading yourself. Then you start importing your vision and pushing your vision on other people. This is another lesson I learned from reading this book the hard way. The best time to get prepared for something is the second you become aware of it. The best time to be ready is to stay ready. Okay? The best time to get prepared for something is the second you become aware of it. Let me tell you a story about that. I recently sold a property, okay? And the way I structured this deal, it was going to pay me like 3 times the amount of what I paid for the property. Well, no, I mean what I sold the property for. It was going to pay me 3 times the amount of what I sold the property for. It was going to pay me almost 6 times the amount of what I paid for the property. So massive, massive profit on this. All right. So if they would have stayed with the contract, I did a seller finance contract, and basically what a seller finance is if you own the property free and clear, and you have somebody that wants to buy your property, they'll come to you and they'll say, look, we don't have everything to give you, but we'll pay you on monthly payments. So they paid me on monthly payments. They gave me 10% down, and by the end of that term, once that loan would have been paid off, in 29 years from now, I would have gotten paid so much more money than I would have if I would have just cashed out and sold it outright. All right, so they came to me. They said, "Look, we want to change the deals of the contract. We want to change the terms." And I said, "No, I'm not doing it." And I said, "Okay, well then we'll pay you off." And I'm like, "Okay, fine." So what happened was, I knew that money coming in every month, that was going to end. So I needed to react quickly. The second I was aware that this was going to be a problem, that I was going to lose that additional monthly income, I acted. Okay, I acted, and I put myself into a situation to where I could receive more money coming in every month. All right, and I was able to be successful with that. So I restructured some deals. I did some things. I was able to get approval on this, and I structured the situation to where I would be receiving a replacement of that money that was coming in. So it took almost a year to make that happen, okay? And it was a lot of work. The point is, now the point is, now that property is gone, now that income is gone, all right, that I was getting every month. I got the money. I mean, that's great. Now I have to use that money to maximize my profit and make that money work for me again. So I'm gonna roll it over into another real estate building, and then make that money work for me. So that's a whole nother story in and of itself. The point is this: I acted the moment I became aware of the problem. The exact moment I said, okay, I'm going to lose this income. Eventually, I'm going to lose this income. So I needed to act immediately. I followed my instincts, and it paid off. Thank God it paid off. So I think the moment you become aware of a problem, you need to act. I'll tell you another thing I heard. This is not from Brad Lee, but this is from somebody who's a successful business owner. They were telling me about this, the way their work ethic. If you want to be a boss, you got to have a good work ethic. He told me, he said, when I work for somebody, he said, I under promise and I over deliver. If it comes to a point where you're working for somebody and they need to question you, then you've already lost. They're gonna say, well, if they got to question you, no, you gotta work for them so well to where they don't ask you for nothing. Like, you brief them on everything. So that's the way to do it. And I said, man, I admired that. I said, man, that's a good way. That's a good way to work. And that's the way I work. I look, if you come to me with a problem and you want me to solve a problem or help you solve a problem, I'll let not only will I do what you asked me to do, but I will go ahead and make sure this is where we're at. This is the progress report, update, follow up. So many people they don't update, they don't follow up, and they're like, hey, this is where we're at with this problem. We're waiting on this. We're waiting on for this to happen. Update. Anyway, under promise, over deliver. So best time to get prepared for something is the second you become aware of it. So I'm already being prepared to be a multi millionaire. That's the thing you got to do. You got to be prepared now, before the things that you do today are going to affect what happens in a year from now, or 6 months from now, or 3 months from now. It's almost like you're ready for a fight. Like Tyson, he talked about this. He said the fight's easy. The fight's like a vacation compared to the training and preparation. Training and preparation is every day. Anyway, I just want to share that with you. Hope it helps. And again, we'll be having some more next week. We're going to talk about Proverbs 15, and we're going to do Brad Lee the hard way.